Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody. Before we start, I request everybody to again switch off your, please mute your mics. Request everybody to mute your mics other than Swamiji, and also
video can be removed.
Yeah, preferably video can also be switched off.
Switch off videos.
Yeah, so it helps in buffering. And anything you can always write on the chat boards. We are all here to respond to that. So thank you so much. And Hari Om Swamiji.
Video is on. It distracts me because of some images are seen on the. Sometimes they see when I don't minimize the window. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Better to remove the video, everybody.
And I request the backup team to pin Swamiji video on the screen, please.
Yeah. Hari Om, everyone. Good morning. We'll start with the prayer. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sruti Smrti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. So last Saturday, we saw the arguments that were put forth by Arjuna. And he spoke about the family unit. I said, what happens in the war? Only the women, children, and old people are left out, because almost all the cream of society are in the battlefield. Lakhs of them. And that will lead to the family values will be degraded. Nobody will be there to teach them. Women will become corrupt. By any means, somebody can take the woman away, kidnap the woman away. Many things can happen in society if there is no protection. And that will lead to the Varna Sankara. And that will lead to what? In the 42nd verse, he said, Sankaro Narakayeva Kulagdhananam Kulasyacha patanti pitaro yesham luptapindodara kriyaha. The consequences of it. You know, friends, it's very difficult. I don't know the subtlety in our expansion of our consciousness. Subtlety. And you know, Rishis had that subtlety. We should never see the creation, whatever is in its expression. The creation, whatever is in expression. Not only the physical expression we are talking about. I'm talking about the entire the field of the universe. Universe contains, Brahmanda contains so many lokas, so many types of play. The planes are there. And if we become a yogi, if we can become, we can really so subtle to understand. If you close your eyes and if you can see the entire Brahmanda, if you can, based on Shastra knowledge, based on the teachings of the Guru, based on your own inner reflections and meditations, if you could see as great Mahatmas have seen it, as Yudhishthira has seen it in Mahabharata, he says, I am seeing all the lokas and their beings, their functions, like Arjuna saw it in Vishwarupa. Our consciousness should expand to such an understanding, unless there is a context, unless there is a what you call this kind of subject that we are dealing with. There is no need for me to talk on these points right now, because the context has come. I'm trying to explain some point. The point is this: if you see the whole creation, all the lokas, urdhva lokas, adho lokas, their beings are there. Each loka has their own dharma, laws are there. The laws are ruling the lokas. They are all interpenetrated. They are all in actually one unit. Each influencing, each is exercising its influence. Whatever change is happening, it's a collective change, you know. Like, you know, every wave affects the whole ocean. It's a wave effect. Similarly, if you can understand that, grasp the interconnectedness of all the creation as one single unit, like atom is a unit, a nucleus, a proton, neutron, all those things are there inside the configuration of the atom, and then they had electrons going around the nucleus. All that is fine, but it's all a unit. So anything affects that one, even electron is affected, or anything affects any change, the whole atom structure means atom configuration changes. Similarly, the subtlety of our consciousness should be so deep, so understanding. That is the problem with all of us, is that we consider ourselves as separate units, hanging, independent of the totality. Actually, we are connected. The whole thing. When I can see how much, if I don't, on this planet, in physical world, if I am not bringing the harmony, the peace, and then proper regulation and proper attunement with the total nature, or following dharma, following the values, I don't know how it affects the beings of other lokas. Other people are affected, like dead ones are affected. We says, you know, they have their own minds. They can see what is happening. They are also affected by our own behavior. Not only the environment I'm talking about, not only the physical world, the physical beings that are affected because of our misbehavior or good behavior, positively if it is so. And plants are affected, animals are affected, earth is affected. The physical talk I'm talking, earth is a small unit, a speck, a cosmic dust, a dust particle in the cosmos. But the whole thing is a one unit. When we understand that, our responsibility increases. Responsibility is that I must, as much as possible, I must live in tune with the totality. I should not disturb anything in the order of the universe. I should not be the cause of it. So the Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha, Gurudev also said last time we have read the statement. And they are worried. The other beings are worried. The continuity. What happens, I tell you. Very interesting. I'm just telling you certain things. Suppose one day all of us die. So you have created a world which is in mess today. But you will come back again, no? You will take another incarnation. So in the form of next generation, who is going to suffer, or of down 2 generations down, 3 generations down? It is you and I. We have to come to the same planet again, same world again, to exhaust our vasanas, to exhaust our karma. So then we think our forefathers have not done. Who are forefathers other than we? Think about it. So the karma chases. That sensitivity, that understanding we don't have. It's not that I am affecting somebody negatively. I am affecting the totality and affecting myself. Think about it. Tomorrow I have to come to same place, same earth, full of the carbon dioxide, full of pollution, full of lack of oxygen to breathe, and lack of pure water, lack of pure environment. Water is not there. The forests are removed. Who is going to suffer? We have to. Year afterwards, every birth, then if it is going to add more and more pain, and we cannot keep quite without visiting the planet because plenty of vasanas are there, exhaust karmas are to be exhausted. Are you understand the complex of it? We don't see the universe as a big governance, big organization, big unit, and we are responsible in it. So sorry to say that a kind of expansion we neither parents have nor we don't teach to children. Of course, we don't have parents as parents. Then how can we teach children that we are a unit? So not only the family is a unit begins with, it's society, then the community, and then the country, the world, and then the whole globe, and then other worlds, and the whole cosmos is one unit. So Arjuna is worried. In fact, he did not express explicitly these thoughts, but the effect, the wave effect you call, it continues. It affects the whole thing, and we will come back and we have to suffer the consequences of our present actions. Not that our future generations, sons and grandsons or great grandsons will suffer. Great grandson is you, or grandson perhaps is you. So he is worried. So step by step he said, all that is fine. The consequences, the context is wrong, as I've been thinking again and again, telling you all. So therefore he says in 43rd verse, Doshairetaihi kulagnanam varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharmaha kuladharmascha shashvataha. He's crying. Yeshai doshaihi. By these kinds of evil deeds, the faults that have been committed by these Kulagnana, the slayers of the family, who the Kauravas, they were bent upon destroying the world, the worldly order. Now we talk about terrorists, we talk about certain countries. Their ammunition is growing, and then the nuclear arsenal in the wrong hands. What will be the consequences of it? Not only on the neighboring countries, on the whole globe. They are very scared now. We are very scared. The buttons are in somebody's hands, in somebody's, the Kulagnanam, the slayers of family, slayers of the world. So when these, the destroyers of the family, because of their evil deeds, Doshai Yetaihi Kulagnanam, and who are the Varnasankara Karakaihi, those who are the author of admixture of castes, because you may not directly influencing it, but that is the effect of it. Today, I don't know, the electronic waste on the earth, too much is growing inside, in tons and tons and billions of tons perhaps. I don't know how much electronic waste is going on the planet. Waste. I get scared. Sometimes I think about it. plastic waste. So actually, we are all destroying the planet, destroying ourselves, but we don't understand. I think that I live only 50, 60, 70 more years, or 80 years, or 100 years I live, and then afterwards, I don't let the world go to dog. My dear, you are the one who is going to come back again. So Arjuna says, by the evil deeds of these people, those who are the cause for admixture of caste, varna sankara karakaihi, utsajyante, jati dharmaha utsajyante. All the values, think, utsajyante, jati dharmaha, all the values of the family, the jati means the caste, not in our limited sense. The Brahmana Varna Dharma, Kshatriya Varna Dharma. Why? Because all of us are units and we are contributing. For example, I'm giving you to make us understand. Wipe out a particular class of people from the globe. The world cannot live. Teacher community, eliminate it. Doctor community, eliminate it. Plumber, electrician, the carpenter, tailor. These communities, suppose they are eroded or they don't know the knowledge of it. What will happen to the world? Can you think about it? So each Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Dharma, all people are there all over the world, the broad categories. So they have descended, they have got that their knowledge, and then what is there to contribute to society, and how they must bring the harmony in society. What is their commitment towards the country and the society? That's why career definition. The career definition, there is no definition. What do you mean by career? There is no textbook definition for career. There is no definition. So therefore, I made a definition of it, funny definition of it. What is that career? I used to tell some HR people and all. So I used to tell them, career is what? Career means what? How to make myself comfortable at the cost of others. That's called career. My career. Meaning what? I want to be happy. My credit cards, my debit cards, my progress at the cost of the society, at the cost of the world. That is, I don't think about inclusiveness is not there. We are not trained. So what is the definition of what should be the definition of a career? So I gave a definition for career. One of my presentations, then it suddenly struck me, so I just made a thought. Career is a means to make oneself an asset to the family, to society, to the organization, and to the country. So I'm asking you, what do you mean by career? It means what? How, in what way you are going to be an asset to the country tomorrow? As a carpenter, as a plumber, as an engineer, or a doctor, or a teacher, or a mentor, or anything. I am an asset to the country. That is career. So that if you understand in this term, Jati Dharma, this is the meaning of Jati Dharma. Then if there's nobody, specially trained contributors, so it's required, no? Required. That's why in olden days, Brahmanas also, we are Vijurvedis, we are Samavedis, we are Datvedi, we are Rugvedi, we are Atharvavedi. Why they are distributed this work? You maintain this order, you maintain this Vidya, you maintain this knowledge of Atharvana Shastra complete. You must train your own society, your own children, continue the legacy so that this wisdom is not lost. And this wisdom, which is actually brings harmony with the nature, with the humanity. So, Jati Dharma, Utsadhyante, Jati Dharma, Jati Dharma, Kula Dharma, all these things can get destroyed. Shashvatasya, they're eternal. There must be always in society advisors, intelligent people, those who do finance for the sake of the society, those who are contributors, those who are really mentors of society, those who are gurus, those who are such kind of called, all classes called Brahmana. There must be administrators, those who protect, those who frame laws and rules, and those who really, bring out strategy for establishing society, in the society peace, etc. That administrative class is required. And also their business class is required. Traders are required. And these are the executive class, the Sudras, those who are not fit for any of these three things. Okay, doesn't matter, but we are needed. We need labor people. They are hardworking, but we are all one. We are all unit. There is no superiority, no inferiority complex. That was the wisdom given to us by the Rishis in the beginning. And over the period of time, that somehow the ego brain, I am superior, holier than the attitude, then power politics within the communities, within the groups, and then this is how the entire thing has been destroyed. Nonsensical, it is all nonsensical. So therefore, Arjuna is crying there. Etaihi doshaihi kulagnanam, committed by the slaves of the family destroyers. Varnasankara karakaihi, those who are the cause for the admixture of caste. What will happen? Jati dharmaha are destroyed. There is no order in society. Today, so many arts are gone. So many places we come across that there is nobody to uphold this beautiful art. It has been coming as a family tradition, or one village used to follow this business. Now they stopped it. So not all change is progressive. Please understand. Every change is not progressive. Some changes are regressive. So Arjuna is correct. Sadhyante jati dharmaha kula dharmascha shashvataha. Having said this much, says Utsanna kula dharmanam manushyanam janardana narake niyatam vasaha bhavati tyanusushruma. If jati utsanna kula, now see, step by step, he has been talking. If jati dharmas are gone away, the tradition, family traditions. Suppose in medical, there are many techniques are there. Even today, some old techniques are used. In surgeries also. There are very beautiful things are there. Not every time you may not depend on technology. It may not be available. You imagine how the delivery used to take place in olden days. What kind of science they would have developed in the absence of all the modern facilities, but babies were delivered. So there is a wisdom not dependent on many things, and I think you are understanding it. Our wisdom or science, if it is depending on so many instruments and technologies and technique, then we are slaves. In future, 2 into 2, where is the calculator? Are you progressing or regressing? So the freedom, that knowledge which is not a slave, which doesn't make me a slave, is required. Technology is good. I'm not against technology. Technology is good. But for everything you are depending on it, small things also. Like calculator example I gave. So Utsanna kula dharmanam, if the family, all the religious practices are all destroyed, kula dharma, shashvataha, jati dharma, kula dharma, all the destroyed, hey Janardana, hey Bhagavan Krishna, we have heard, it is inevitable for these people, narake aniyatam vasaha. Aniyata means what? An unknown period. The niyatakala, a limited, the allotted period. We have heard For unknown period, they all live in hell. Bhavati iti anushushurama. We have heard. If you don't practice these values, you go to hell. Now, the moment we bring that, this kind of hell and all that, people don't believe. Kya hai yaar, ye sab kuch. They think that, Naraka is after death. Somebody went to Puja Gurudev and said, Gurudev, I am worried that I will go to hell after death. Gurudev said, don't worry, you will not go to hell. Beautiful. Then he thought that, Swamiji, I came to you at your lotus feet, Puja Gurudev. I came to your lotus feet. Therefore, I don't have to go to hell. I'm sure. I'm happy about it. I came at your feet and you save me from going to hell after death. Gurudev said, no, I'm not talking in that sense. That you came to me, therefore you will not be sent to hell because my recommendation. I'm not talking that. I said you will not go to hell because you are already in it. You are already in the hell. Hell we don't have to experience after death, my dear friends. That's what we are already in it. That is the meaning what he is speaking about. Amiyata kalam. So Puja Gurudev's commentary, I will read this now. Some important things. We have already seen that the family dharma means, in the context of our times, only the cultural purity in the family, which is the unit of community values, cultural purity, for family harmony, family goal, all that I spoke. We have also found that since their culture is essentially spiritual in Hindu culture, religion is culture to the Hindus. So there is no difference. Religion is the culture to the Hindus. Why? Because their culture is essentially spiritual. Our culture is essentially spiritual. Therefore, when Arjuna says that the leader who causes the destruction of the family culture in any generation will go to hell, he is talking about a political truth. What is the political truth? That when a generation gets shattered in its cultural purity, in spite of its secular and material prosperity, it will sink into a hellish existence conceived of and created by its own stupidities. Now, shootings everywhere. Courtroom shootings, on the road shootings, shopping complex shootings, mall shootings, toll gate shootings. Prosperity. I am going in a BMW car. Somebody overtook me. I got angry, stopped him, and then shot him dead. That's why, that's why Bertrand Russell has so beautifully said. Bertrand Russell, a great thinker and author and all. He said, as we are increasing, the more we increase the knowledge in the world, we have to have more wisdom than the knowledge. Knowledge is this much. Wisdom should be higher than the knowledge, so that to handle this knowledge, wisdom is required. Wisdom is not there. Knowledge is increasing. We don't know how to handle the knowledge. That is called hellish existence. And the political truth it is. So this is a historical truth, Gurudev says, well recognized. And often noticed by all good students of history. So in the conclusion, Gurudev says, on the whole, Arjuna implies that when the unity of home life is shattered, when purity of living and sanctity of thought are destroyed in the individual home life, the generation that has caused such a shattering is ordering for itself and others a melancholy era of hellish sorrows and sufferings. Today we are suffering. Food is impure. So many people say cancer is increasing, water is impure. So drinking impure water, eating impure fruits, eating impure. Now everybody says organic, 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 and mostly I tell you, we already spoiled the earth. Air that we breathe in polluted. Lifestyle is horrible. And we are not in tune with the nature. Okay, current electricity is born. Very good. We have discovered lights, and in the nights also I can lit up the city. Very good. But what is happening? We don't sleep in the night. So the clock, the natural clock is disturbed. So we don't honor the daytime work. You know, one of the talks, Satya Sai Baba, he was talking to students. I share this to students always. He was selling so beautifully that, you know, the daytime, of course, is divided into Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas. Kala, Sattvic Kala, Rajasic Kala. Kala means time. Sattvic time, Rajasic time, and Tamasic time. Now, what Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, I hope you know. Okay. Sattvic is very pure, clean. Rajasic is dynamism, activity. Tamas is dull, indolence, etc. Satseva was telling students, morning 4 to 8, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. The Mahatmas, and this is the truth I'm talking. 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. is Sattvic Kal for us. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is Rajasic Kal. 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. is again Sattvic Kal. 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. is Tamasic Kal. So he is advised students, morning 4 hours is your time for meditation, for yoga, for studies, for contemplation, for reading. Use that time. That is the nature is facilitating that period. Medically also true. Between 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. or so, the steroids are produced in the body naturally to help us to cope up with the stress. So when they are maximum available in the morning, I use that as surfing. I know surfing is an art. And decently big wave, decent tide, not too big, you can jump over it. If it is too big a tide, duck. So I'm using these surfing wave, time waves, Sattvic Kal, Rajasic Kal, Tamasic Kal. What I mean is that it is entirely our culture and our religion is integrated. So according to that culture is united, yoke to the universal balance. So the culture is so deep, linked to religious practices. They are no more dogma. Everything is science oriented. So deep it is. So Arjuna is crying. So, and that where we have to practice, where is the teaching ground? No, where I tell you one thing. The ground to protect somebody from becoming a terrorist also is a house. Hey, we have family teaching about good values, harmony, compassion, total life. Others' life is like your life only, love, sharing, justice, patience. If these are taught, he or she will not become a terrorist. So that the whatever the training ground for all of us is family. So mother has a role to play, father has a role to play, grandfather and grandparents, I would say, they have a role to play. So when we are able to protect the family and each family is protected. From each family, gems are born, gems are created, and they are in tune with total life, the society, the culture, through religious practices. You call it as religion, but it is all culture. Culture is linked to the hygiene, the ecology. It's all linked to ecology. What do you think our rishis were? Do you think they are merely intellectuals? Do you think they are all only inner scientists, unaware of the outer world? What do you think about them? Unless you become a rishi, you don't know the greatness of your own great, grand old rishis. Such a life they gave. And it was all pakadbandi organized, very well organized, systematized. So that there won't be any need for us to deviate. You are banged everywhere. And we are trained to think universally. So if the family values are not there, Jati Dharma is gone away, and all the rules and regulations, the laws, and then the ethical values, moral behavior, code of conduct, everything has gone to dogs. Now only selfishness, greed, my happiness at the cost of others. So I redefined career today. Career is what? It is a means to make oneself an asset to the organization, to the family, to society, and to the country, and to humanity. I am telling you, I want to ask you one question. In what way each one of you are an asset to the country, asset to society, asset to family? Are you an asset or a liability? You have to think about it. You have to introspect. And when I close my eyes, I think about myself. Am I an asset to society and the country, humanity, or a liability? Am I preying upon the society and the country, PREY? How much resources I'm consuming? So this is how we have to teach ourselves. We have to set ourselves, our own compasses correctly tuned. And we have to also teach people. This is what Arjuna is saying, that when your family values are gone to dogs, whole thing will go to, and society will live in hellish existence. Look at the neighboring countries, what's happening. No freedom. We don't know when I go out whether I come back home or not, or I'll be shot dead by terrorists. No peace. It's a hellish existence. Some countries on the globe have been living like that. No food, no water, the hunger is increasing. The hygiene has very, very frail personalities. No direction to entire the society or community. No unity. Nothing to look up to. And we are losing the grip. We are losing our hold on our own great culture, great grand culture, our culture. So therefore, Arjuna says, Aho batamahat papam kartum yavasita vayam yadra jasukalo bhena antum swajana mudyata. Aho, Hari Bapri Bap, alas. Oh, if you are from South India, you say, Ayo, what am I doing? What am I about to do? What am I up to do? What am I up to now to do? Mahatpapam kartum vyavasitavaya. We are now preparing ourselves to commit a great sin by killing all these people, disturbing the entire social order. The one fact is, even the, suppose there are 2-3 factors I already mentioned, the context is wrong. Science is so beautiful. But the present times are different. The Kurukshetra time. The power equations in society among the kingdoms are horrible in those days. All the Rakshasas who took birth. Duryodhana was none other than Kali. Kali only in the form of Duryodhana was born. Kali was riding. So Krishna knew. So therefore, aho bata enough. Mahatpapam, aho bata. Alas, Mahatpapam kartum vyavasitavayam. Are baapre, what an amount of, we are preparing to commit a great sin. Like this. Yad Rajya Sukha Lobhena. For Rajya Sukham, the greed for the happiness of the kingdom. Rajya Sukha Lobhena. The greed to enjoy the kingdom. For this greed, out of greed, we are now preparing to commit a great sin by killing our own people. You are thinking they are our own, but are the Duryodhana thinking about it? Kauravas, they never thought about it. They never had an idea that you are our own. They never had this idea. So, therefore, he says, and Arjuna concludes, he says, Yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyuho tanme kshemataram bhavet. Kshemataram is a comparative degree, superlative degrees are there, no? So comparatively, kshemataram bhavet. It is for kshemataram for us. Better, good, better, best. So, yadi, if, mam, me, apratikaram, mam, apratikaram, ashastram, if the Duryodhana, etc., sons of Dhritarashtra come to me and kill me, in what way I am standing there without any pratikaram, without any resistance. So unresisting me, I don't resist now. So Arjuna is not resisting, me the one who is not resisting, standing there in the battlefield. Ashastram, without any arms and ammunition in my hand. If I just stand, even in that condition, Yuddhaniti doesn't say that. But it doesn't matter, even if that condition, if Dhritarashtra's son come and kill me, Rane, in the battlefield, Hanyuhu, should they slay me, the standing in the battlefield without any weapons, unresisting their attack on me, if I am killed also, that is better for me. So losing the battle is better than me. That is the conclusion. And the same thing we conclude. Losing the battle is better sometimes. No, I cannot face the challenges of life. Committing suicide is better than me. But after suicide, what is the guarantee? Somebody in some university, I was there in Orissa long back. I will not tell the name of the university. In that university, I was addressing the students long back. I'm talking of 20 years or 18, 20 years back. More than that. So somebody said, I want to commit suicide. Why can't I commit suicide to avoid problems of life? Give me one reason, Swamiji, I will not commit suicide. I said, ye kya mere par a big test for me? So I said one thing. Okay, let us analyze on the board. I said, if suicide is a solution for all problems of life, I will join you. Let us go together and walk into the Bay of Bengal. We were in Bhubaneswar, I think, at that time. So we will go to that seashore, Puri or Jagannath somewhere. Bhagwan ko darshan karke mar jaye. Chalo. I will join. But the question is, a simple problem. Where is your problem? Which part of your personality is troubled? He didn't understand the question. Again, I asked him. I put him to understand. It is all in the mind, is it not? Who is suffering? Not the body, no. When you are taking the deep sleep, your body is not complaining. Body has nothing to do. So mind is suffering. Whom are you killing? Body. Body is separated from you. Problem is mind. After that, the mind will be with you. So the problem giver is always with you. Troublemaker, mind is always with you, whether you are alive or dead. If the logic seems to be clear for you, then you will not commit suicide. There is no use. Commit the murder of the mind. I asked him, if you can commit the murder, kill your mind. If you can kill your mind, you will get happiness. You can't kill your mind. You have to transcend the mind. You have to dissolve the mind, otherwise through Vedanta, through spiritual practices. So therefore, Arjuna says now, Kshemataram bhave. Now the moksha I don't want. Just living, running away somewhere, live happily without killing anybody, without doing any duties, that is better for me. So I want to run away from my duties. I want physical security. Physical security became now predominant, primordial, or a predominant thing compared to spiritual understanding and growth. So I will not fight. Let them come to me and kill me. That is better for me. So this is the Arjuna could not find any arguments more, because the previous sloka, Krishna was not speaking at all. He was only listening. I used to imagine, for fun's sake I'm talking, maybe Krishna is carrying Johnson earbuds and putting happily, cleaning his ears, listening to Arjuna. Ho gaya kya tumhara? So till he exhausts himself, Krishna was keeping quiet. That is the only way to deal with hysteria patients. We don't interrupt them. If we interrupt, they get angry. So patient of hysteria, allow him to speak. And that's what Krishna did. When he got exhausted completely, when in the second chapter we will see, he surrendered. Then Krishna opened his beautiful message, opened his mouth with a nectar, the manual for life. So, last verse, Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva arjuna sankhye pratopasta upavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shokasam vigna manasaha. Sanjaya now reporting to Dhritarashtra. I explained to you what was the necessity of the first question itself. So in the background of Mahabharata, what all happened before the war, in that background, if you study the first chapter, we have many things, much to learn from first chapter. Yesterday somebody came to me. The person was telling me, oh, first chapter I think. I said, don't brush it away like that. It's okay, first chapter is okay. And some fools are there in the world, some fools They say Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji wrote commentary from 2nd chapter, 10th verse, Ashocyanan Vasochastvam. From there, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji started the commentary. So we will also study Geeta from that sloka only. That is stupidity. In one line, he completed the entire Bhashyam for the first chapter and up to 10th slokas of 2nd chapter. This is the history, this is the sorrow, this is the Jagat. Like that, he commented, and when moved on with the message of Krishna. This is the history of this is the sorrow, dukkham. This is how the people are caught up. One sentence, beautiful sentence, he says. So, here, Evam Uktva Arjuna, having spoken like this to Bhagavan Krishna, Sankhye in the battle, Ratha Upastha Upavishatu. And on the seat of the chariot, there is something like the handle or whatever you call. Upavishatu. There he sat on the chariot. The 2 wooden bars will be there maybe. So he sat somewhere in the chariot only, on the side, he sat there. Or Visrujya Sasharam Chapa. He threw away his bow, he threw away his quiver, all the bows and arrows are thrown away. I don't want to fight. Soka Samvignamanasa, completely drowned in sorrow. Completely overwhelmed with sorrow. He was just holding his head, completely drowned in sorrow. Utter, total depression. And he collapsed there. That was the condition of Arjuna. I gave up in life. I gave up. Now, no hope for me. So many people come to me and they have all psychological problems. I give up. I touched the rock bottom of my life. There is no more future for me. I think I have touched the end. This happens. So don't blame Arjuna. Arjuna, who was Arjuna? Well-read, warrior. If it could happen to Arjuna, what about you and I? So it's a repeated story. As long as we are not awakened to the truth, so long these waves of Maya attack us. Illusions attack us. That's Sita Prajna qualities, that's Sita Pratishtita. That will come later on. Study, man of study, wisdom. So, this is the situation. From here, what will happen in 2nd chapter now? That we will see. Om Tat Sat Iti Srimad Bhagavad Geetasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Prathamodhya Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamodhyaya Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyah Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchah. Arihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Arihi Om Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. Thank you all. Hari Om. Over to the organizers.
Hari Om, Swamiji. Nothing much to be announced. Swamiji, we need to just take your permission that we had announced in the beginning that we will have a question answer session. So if we feel appropriate, if Swamiji suggests that we can, if there is anything
next Saturday is what is the date?
2nd October, I think, Swamiji.